Hello, my lovelies. It is time for my 2021 reading stats, so stay tuned. So this is going to be a relatively short video. I pulled some information off of my Goodreads, just a little bit more than what they show on your end of year wrap up, whatever. But I wanted to come on here and share my reading stats with you and tell you kind of how I did for the year. So my goal for 2021 was to read 120 books. I figured 12 months out of the year, I could read 10 books a month, and I crushed that. I ended up reading 209 books this year. It just blows my mind. From that was 72,861 pages over the entire year. And I did some math and worked it out. That is an average of 6,071.75 pages per month, or 1,401 pages per week, or 199.6 pages per day. And I know I didn't read every day, so I'm just like, wow. Some days I read a whole lot. Some days I read nothing, but I'm just like, I can't believe on average I read almost 200 pages per month. I mean, per day. Oh. So my shortest book that I read this year, and it's funny because last year I ended up reading an exceptionally short book. I think it was like 10 pages or something like that. It was not a great book. But this year I read another ridiculously short one, and it was only 15 pages. It's just a little ebook novella. Sorry if the tripod moves, but Einstein. It was an ebook novella of Love Song by TJ Klune. That is like book 2.5 of the Green Creek series. So it goes between Raven Song and Heart Song, and it is Elizabeth's story, and we kind of get like what's going on in her head from before Wolf Song, which is book 1, all the way through Wolf Song and Raven Song, and leading us into a Heart Song. And it was beautiful. It made me cry. Oh my goodness. I did end up giving that actually 5 stars. The longest book that I read this year was 827 pages. And it just so happened that I also gave that book 5 stars. And it's on the top shelf of my bookshelf right now, so I don't want to grab it, but it's Winter by Marissa Meyer. It is the 4th book in the Lunar Chronicles, and I absolutely loved it. It's so good. But with having exceptionally long books and exceptionally short books, I had a lot of normal size books as well. My average book length ended up being 348 pages. So kind of like a normal size book. My average rating, funny thing, I looked back at my end of year stats for last year, and I had the same average rating last year that I have this year, which was 3.9. I thought that was really interesting. My most popular book that I read this year was actually a reread for me. 8,942,589 people have shelved it. That was The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, and I gave it 4 stars. The least popular book that I read this year, only 54 people had shelved it, and that was I Wish I Might by Lisa Day Pascal, and I ended up giving that 4 stars. I thought it was super cute. It was like a Make-A-Wish romance kind of thing, and it was super adorable. So the highest rated book the highest rated on Goodreads book that I read this year, it was another reread. I did a lot of rereads this year, I found, where I reread the ACOTAR series, I reread the Dorothy Must Die series, what else? I reread quite a few things. But anyway, the highest rated book that I read was A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the second book in the ACOTAR series. And again, like I said, it was a reread for me, and I gave it 5 stars. It's so good. But it has a rating on Goodreads of 4.62. Now, the lowest rated book on Goodreads that I read this year, it had a 2.58 stars. And it just so happened that the reason why I read it was because I'd gotten the prompt lowest rated. So I had to look on my Goodreads and read. And it ended up being actually the second lowest rated on my Goodreads that I ended up reading. But I read The Light That Gets Lost by Natasha Carthew. And I ended up giving it 1 star. I really, really, really didn't like that book. Ah! Hello, Einstein. You gonna come help me with my end of the year stats? Here's one of my end of the year stats right here. This giant beast of a puppy. Okay, so okay, come on, calm down. Sit. Good boy. So the first book, oh goodness. So Einstein just decided to lay down, and he's like, his butt is right on the tripod. So there's a very good chance that you're gonna get shifted. Okay, so my first review of the year was Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, and I gave it 5 stars. It was sort of a little bit of a memoir, and it was so good. And I listened to the audiobook with my mom, and it's narrated by him. And that's a book that, like, ever since then, I put it on my Amazon wish list. I haven't gotten it yet, but that's a book I want, because it's so good. He's so interesting and has led such an interesting life. The last book that I read for the year, or that I reviewed for the year, was Love Song by TJ Klune, that little novella. And as I mentioned before, I gave it 5 stars. And then for my ratings. So of the 209 books that I read for the year, 2 I did not give ratings to. I think they were just not my kind of book, not necessarily that they were bad. Then there was 6 1 stars, 4 2 stars, 38 3 stars, and my highest category, which blows my mind that I had this many 4 stars, but I had 110 4-star reads, which is just like incredible. And then I had 49 5 stars. So I had more 5-star reads than I had 3 stars. I had more 5-star reads than I had 1, 2, or 3 stars combined. So I had a really, 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 really good reading year this year. I mean, with an average of 3.9, my reading year was excellent. And the next video that you're going to be seeing after this is going to be my top 10 of 2021. And that was so hard to figure out, because I read so many good books. I didn't include any of my rereads in that because, oh, another one I reread was A Semi-Definitive List of Worst Nightmares. Fabulous. But yeah, I didn't include any of those because they've already been, I think, on top whatever lists for past years when I originally read them. This time I can tell you that in my top 10, well, I have a top 10 plus 2 honorable mentions, because they were 2 that I couldn't do a top 10 list without mentioning them, but they just quite didn't make that top 10 list. So of those 12, I have 3 graphic novels, 1 erotica, 1 nonfiction, 4 YAs, which that surprises me that there's only 4, 2 adult, and 1 that I really just didn't know how to classify. Yeah, I honestly, I don't have a clue how to classify it. And when you watch that video, I think you'll understand. Because I'll also point out that this was the one that I didn't know how to classify its genre or category. But you could say it's pop culture related. Alright, well I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!